Some wonderful subscribers asked me, "Hey, what do we call you? Pink? What's your name?" Simple question. Sorry to make it a complicated answer, but I wanted to honor not only the person who named me, but the person that I was named after. I was very premature. I had all the wonderful apnea and different things that go with having a premature child. Brian, you talked about that in your book to your daughter this week. And I would love to name all the doctors and nurses that got me here. I would not be here without a whole team of people. I'm older and I was born before there was a NICU, before there were all the machines that can take a tiny premature infant and coax it toward the goal of going home. I spent long hours in a nursery in an incubator. My mom and my grandmother uh, were supported by the rest of our amazing family, and one lady in particular who spent a lot of time and effort to help my mom just turn toward God and toward faith in Him. When the doctor told my mom that I probably wasn't going to make it, she was scrambling. She grabbed my grandmother and they headed for the hospital clerk's office. She told my grandmother, "Oh, we got to get this baby a name." Years before that, my mother and my dad had their first child, and she made it 8 months and went into labor, and she had a baby boy, but it was a stillbirth. And just in the chaos and grief and everything that I can't even imagine comes with the loss of a newborn child, he didn't get named. And later, my mom had a second wave of just pain when she got the certificate from the state that said baby boy. So fast forward several more years to another nursery and another baby, me, that's sick, and she wants to get me a name. So she had a wonderful list to choose from. My brother is named after my grandfather, and my sister is named after my grandmother, and I've got some amazing cousins. I've even have two wonderful Aunt Bettys. She could have named me Betty, and it would have been perfectly understandable. But she picked a name outside the family. She picked a person that came every single day to the hospital to pray for me. At one point, they let her come up to the nursery, and she looked in the window and she just stood there quietly and prayed and prayed and prayed. She prayed for me to live. And that was the person that my mom named me after. She named me after the lady that prayed for me. She named me Tina. Grandma Tina is with the Lord. She just was so real and so dedicated that my mom wanted to honor her, and I'm glad she did. Years later, when I was in college, we did a time-killing exercise. You know how you get some of those when you're in college and your professor is maybe a little distracted and looking for something for the students to do. Well, in a moment of distraction, he told us to look up the meaning of our names. And when I looked up Tina, I was just completely blown away. It made me think of the lady that prayed for me, because Tina means follower of Christ. When I saw that, I thought, of course, of course, that's what my name means. And that's what her name meant. And she followed Christ, and I follow her. I can't wait to see her again one day. Proverbs 22, verse 1 says, "A good name is to be chosen over great riches." So thanks, Mom. And thank you, Grandma Tina. And thanks to my wonderful subscribers. I hope I can give you encouragement that you needed today. Any more questions, feel free to throw them down in the comments, and have an amazing weekend. Take care.